Fine. Okay. So in the today we are going to discuss these three modules: Jenkins pipeline, Jenkins file deep dive, and credential management. In the previous class, we have already discussed about how to integrate Jenkins with Git and Maven, and we have created freestyle job and Maven type. But we are going to use a Jenkins pipeline now. That is, we are going to use Groovy script. So Groovy scripting language we are going to use with a Jenkins pipeline. So this is very important module if you discuss in this particular complete course. This is one of the important module which we are going to discuss today, because in the real time we are going to write, most of the time we are not going to use the freestyle jobs. We will use only pipeline script only. So what is the difference between freestyle job and Jenkins pipeline? Freestyle mainly we use a UI only. By clicking on the UI forms, then we are going to fill in the details, then we'll create a job for that, then that's it. But here the pipeline, we are going to declare that declare the stages, different stages. That is the stage which we are going to perform, like a checkout stage, build, then testing, deploy, Docker building, everything we are going to declare with a pipeline. So this is a module. In this module, we are going to discuss about what is the different type of pipelines we have, and what is the stages, steps, environment variable, post actions, options, triggers, and parameters. These and all we have already discussed: options, triggers, and parameters. But those we have seen in the freestyle job. Today we are going to see in the pipeline. So then we are going to put all together in a real Java project. We are going to see. So this is the architecture diagram of pipeline code. Pipeline as a code, we call it Jenkins file. That is, we are going to store in the GitHub repository. So this is a pipeline syntax. If you see, this is a declarative pipeline, where we are going to declare the particular stages and all. Then execution flow will be check out this particular whatever the code which we have written in the Jenkins pipeline, that contains these particular stages: checkout, build, test, deploy. These are the stages. We are going to mention it in the Jenkins file as a Groovy script. Okay, this is the architecture diagram of a pipeline. So, so what is a pipeline? Pipeline is a suite of plugins supporting the definition of an entire build, test, deploy process as a code. So as a code, we are going to complete this complete process and written in a Groovy based domain specific language. So it is a Groovy language. Groovy is a like very easy to learn. Just you have to know what are the stages, what are the steps we are going to take in this particular job. So either checked into source control as a Jenkins file, that is a pipeline from SCM, or the enterprise standard pasted directly into the jobs configuration. That is a pipeline script acceptable for quick experiments only. So here we have two different types of we can use it with a Jenkins. One is we can write the complete script as a Jenkins file and store in the GitHub repository, where we have stored our code. If you go here, it will come like here we are going to store. This is the Jenkins file. Like this we are going to store, or else we can write the script directly into the job itself. That is a declarative pipeline. So pipeline syntax, Jenkins provides a built-in pipeline syntax generator accessible from any pipeline job page. So we are going to see that one. Let me log into my Jenkins system CTL status Jenkins. So currently my Jenkins is stopped. So we are going to start the Jenkins. Okay, sorry. I have logged in as a EC2 user. I will switch to my sudo. Then I will start the Jenkins. Start. So I have started my Jenkins. Now I will log into my Jenkins user. So if I check the status, it is running, it is logged in now. Okay. Now inside the CI/CD, I am going to see what is the different jobs. So now I am not going to discuss freestyle jobs and Maven type, which we have already discussed in the previous class. You can go through my previous video. Okay. Now clicking on the new item, you will get the select an item type. There is a pipeline. So if you see the pipeline, that is a pipeline job which we are going to create. Pipeline demo 1. So I will click on pipeline and click OK. So pipeline syntax generator, we can use it, and that lets you configure the step through a, and it's going to correct the groovy syntax for it. Extremely useful when you don't remember the exact syntax for the specific step. So if you don't know the exact syntax, then you can directly generate it. So if you go here, here you can see these and all we can select later. It is normal only, discard old builds, GitHub project and all, that is we can leave it as it is. So we don't get any other, only triggers we will get, and then pipeline. In the pipeline, we are going to select two options we have. One is pipeline script and another one is pipeline script from SCM. If you use this one, it will ask for the path. So what is the git, and then the repository URL it will ask. But I want to run pipeline script by own. See here, try sample pipeline, hello world, GitHub plus Maven, scripted pipeline. These kind of options we have. Just for example, I am going to click on hello world. So this is the pipeline syntax, the basic syntax you should know. So once I click on apply and save, then if I click, see yesterday we have discussed, right? Last at the end of the class we have discussed about blue ocean. So this one also we will discuss now. I will show you. Click on build now. So it will console output. You can see here it is success. So this one is created by using pipeline, end of pipeline it will show. This is completely pipeline stage and it is success. So that is how we are going to create a pipeline syntax. The basic syntax you should understand mainly. Then you can know about the your task, based depends upon task you can write the script. So now we have two different type of uh, pipelines. This is very important. You should know in the interviews also you are going to get the question. Two different types. One is declarative. So declarative pipeline. Next is scripted. So here itself you can understand declarative is nothing but we are going to declare the modern structured recommended dialect. It is enforces a specific top level structure. It contains pipeline, agent, stages and post, which makes it is more readable, easier to lint, and provides built-in validation and the error messages when something is configured. So it's going to inform if something is misconfigured, easily understood. This is what all sample project in this course use. So we are going to use this sample in this particular module. We are going to use a declarative pipeline only. So it contains like this pipeline. It will start any script. If you take pipeline script, I'll go here, go to configure. So any pipeline script if you take, it will start with a pipeline only. Once again. So the main thing you should understand how the script, the syntax looks like. First thing is it will start with a pipeline, then it will start with the agent any. So if you are you want to run the particular agent, then you are going to provide the agent name. For example, I have already created one agent, right? Let me go here, node 1. So somewhere I have created agent, right? Okay, I have used in a different server. I have not logged in. So if you are using this particular agent, for example, node 1, then you can write as a node 1 here, pipeline script. So if while writing the any scripting or any coding, better use in the Windows, you can use Visual Code. So it will suggest you to change something if you want to do any changes. It will suggest you. So better to use here. So directly I can use Vim Jenkins file. Okay, sorry. I can go here, file, new text file. If I give here the code, it will display here. You can see. So this particular one we are going to see, and the pipeline is a starting line for any script and agent any. If you want to run on particular agent, then you can mention as node one. And if you have any particular label, then you can mention as a label inside that one. You can provide label. Otherwise, you can directly give this one. So node one you can give. Otherwise, you can give the label name. Anything is fine. The next is stages. So stages, it's going to start with the stages. This particular one we are going to start the complete stages, and inside that one we are going to start as a stage hello. So this particular one depends upon your requirement, your task. You are going to provide a name of the stage. Then inside that one we are going to write the steps. So steps is this particular one. Here I want to just say hello declarative pipeline. Then I will give steps and I will give this. If I want to run for git, then you will use checkout. So checkout, and inside the steps we are going to write the script for that. So that is how it will work. And if you want to run multiple stages, we know we use multiple stages, right? So for that one, again you have to do another stage here. Stage, see by default it is coming build stage. So build steps echo building, or else you can give in the real time we use mbn mvsh mvn clean install clean package. Like this you can give. So what it will take, it will take the build stage here. Like that we are going to use a stage by stage procedure, that is called declarative pipeline. What is scripted pipeline then? The older, more flexible dialect, and essentially raw groovy code wrapped in a node. So it's going to write a raw groovy code. It will be inside the node block. We are going to use it. Giving full programming language power, it will be used like loops, complex conditions, custom functions, everything it will be there. So compared to declarative pipeline, scripted pipeline will be a little bit complex. It will be contained as node, stage, then we are going to use like this. Same. So that is a sample one. This particular one, scripted pipeline, we are going to use in a different module. Today's, like in the first module, we are going to discuss about declarative pipeline. In the second half, we are going to discuss about scripted pipeline. When to use which? Declarative for vast majority for of use cases. Mainly it covers the 90% of the real world needs, and it is like far easier for teams to read and maintain. We are going to use a declarative pipeline, and scripted only when you need Groovy level flexibility, that declarative script block, which lets you embed a scripted style Groovy inside the declarative pipeline. And also you want to use the same Jenkins script for multiple environments, then we use a scripted pipeline. If you want to use only like for the particular jobs, then we are going to use a declarative pipeline. So what is a pipeline stages? A stage is logically distinct segment of the pipeline. For example, the particular task, we call it stage, shown as a distinct block in both classic stage view and a blue version. It's going to show as a distinct block. Critical for at a glance visibility into exactly where the pipeline is or where it is failed, it's going to display. So, but particular stage it's going to display when we use a scripted pipeline. Now, before going to the pipeline in depth, I want to show a blue ocean. So, blue ocean is one of the advanced UI which we are going to use. It will be when you use this one, it will be easy to understand. Like the UI will be very modern. And when we discuss, when we see here, this is the blue ocean. Click on new pipeline. It will be asking for the your directly GitHub source, and you can use that particular authentication token and complete it. Directly you can create it with the blue ocean, but blue ocean we use rarely in the real time. If you want to create a classic item, then it will go for like this, and you can create a new item. So if I go back, and if I want to see any jobs information, if you go click on here, see, it will look like this. If you see here in the Maven demo, it will be look like this in the normal UI. But when you use a blue ocean, it will be look in a modern level. That's why we use modern. If you want to look in a modern level and easy to find out the errors, this purpose we use blue ocean. See here, complete logs you can see here, and also you can understand very well when you use a blue ocean. It will be modern UI. So this question also you may get in the interview purpose, just to understand. Like you can see changes, test artifacts. If there is anything, then you can find out easily here. That's why we use blue ocean. So this one just for learning purpose, you can practice it with the blue ocean as well. So you can create a pipeline. You can see everything, the details in the blue ocean. You can, if you want, you can disable it. You can, if you want, you can enable the pipeline. Run. Click on run. It will run it. It will show here. While running also, you can see the logs. The real time logs will be showing. This is about blue ocean. Why I explained in between is yesterday we have discussed the same at the end, but it is not installed properly. That's why I stopped the Jenkins. Today it is working fine. You can see all the branches, pull requests for that particular repository if you have given your GitHub repository access. Now let's continue with the pipeline steps. So the stages will be the particular stage which you want to perform, like build, test, deploy, notification, Docker, everything we are going to call as a stage. So this is very important because in the interviews also you are going to get the question like what is the CI/CD pipeline you have created and what are the basic stages you have implemented with that particular pipeline. You can mention the checkout stage, build stage, test, deploy, sonar. So test is nothing but you have to mention sonar cube testing, then deploying into Tomcat or deploying into the Docker hub, then building by using Maven. These kind of stages you can mention. Then pipeline steps. So inside the stages we are going to see steps. You can see here inside the stage we use steps. Okay, the actual commands executed inside the stage steps, that is the inside the steps block. Example, it can be sh. For Linux we use sh, run a shell command, echo, print a message, git checkout node, checkout code, archive artifacts, save a build output. Steps are the smallest unit of work in a pipeline. So inside the steps we are going to use these kind of code like git checkout code, artifacts, then echo, printing a message. Here we have given sh, building a Maven application, echo to print the particular message. Then next is environment variable. So this one is in the real time we use. Practice purpose you can learn. Declared in the environment block, available to every stage as a shell environment variable. It is a two forms: environment, app name. These are you can give Docker Hub credentials, Docker Hub ID. So if you want to use the particular details in the every stage, then you can declare in the beginning itself by using environment block, and then you can use in the inside the stages. Why credentials matters here? Using it inside the environment automatically mask the value in console logs and expose it as a user password suffix variables for username password type credentials. So the credentials we should not expose everywhere. It should be encrypted. That's why we use the credentials as a environment variables. And in the real time in the logs, it's not going to show the values. So it will be safer than manually echoing a secret. We use environment variables. Post actions. The post block defines what happens after all stages run based on the overall build result. So after the overall build result, if you want to run a particular message, success, if you want to provide after success, you want to run this message. After failure, this one. Like that, we can use a post block in the pipeline. This is where email or Slack notification, or we can send messages by using this particular post section. So, for example, after all the stages has completed, you want to send a notification to the team. Then we use post block and we are going to configure the email servers. The options. So the options block configure pipeline wide behavior like timeout, build discarder, then disable configure concurrent builds, timestamps. These kind of options we can configure with the options block. So, for example, timeout kills the entire pipeline if it runs longer than specified. So, for example, the timeout is more than 30 seconds it is taking, then you can kill the particular job instead of taking long time. You can mention here if you minutes, you can mention minutes. If you want seconds, you can mention seconds. Then build discarder automatically prunes old build history. We have already discussed in the pipeline. In the freestyle, we use discard old builds. So that will be remove the old history and it will show only latest number of builds. Then disable concurrent builds prevents two instances of the same job running simultaneously. So it will be disable the concurrent like it should wait for one job to complete and another job will be running. Otherwise, it will be simultaneously run. It will take the load high. That's why we are going to disable it by using this particular option. Then timestamps prefixes every console output line with a timestamp useful for the diagnosing slow stages. We are going to use the timestamps. Then triggers. So in the triggers we have already seen multiple triggers. We have build triggers like polacm, build periodically, webhooks, and upstream, downstream. These kind of. So the triggers block the pipeline as a code equivalent of freestyle build triggers, right? Which we have already seen. If you go here, these triggers we are going to use it in the trigger block. We can directly configure it, and also we can use this kind of this section will be available with the pipeline job as well. We can use both. Not both, any one we can use. If you use both, it won't work. GitHub webhook triggering is typically configured via GitHub hook trigger for the Git SCM. So here, normally we use this one only, even in the Jenkins pipeline as well for a webhook. For any cron job like pole SCM and other thing, we are going to use inside the pipeline. Next is parameters. So parameters we have seen in the freestyle where it will be there. It will be there here, parameterized build. This project is parameterized. Same like that, we have multiple options, right? Boolean parameter, choice, credential, file, this kind of you can use here. The parameters block pipeline as a code equivalent to freestyle parameters. So we can use choice parameter we use choice, boolean parameter we use boolean param, and string parameter we use string. And name we are going to provide what is the name. So same here, if you use choice parameter, the name we are going to provide, and what are the choices we need, dev, staging, prod. And boolean parameter we use clear catchy, default value false, description. And string release name we are going to provide, and default value of then description we are going to provide. Same whatever we do in the freestyle we can do with the pipeline as well by writing the script.
What's the difference, Mohan? Like, why do we use choice or boolean?
So we have already
Why would
discussed, right?
we-
I think we have discussed in the module number 3. Let me open that. So we are going to use the different parameterized build for the different purpose. Once again, see, when you see here, boolean parameter will be like true and false. We are going to provide only true false option we are going to get. Like for example, you want to run the test cases, you can give a default value as a no, false, so it's not going to run the test cases. If you give true, then it will run the test cases. And when you come to the choice parameter, we are going to use the different environment, and based upon the environment it will run the code, like dev, staging and production. And the particular environment is going to run the code, like while triggering the parameterized build. See, I will go to here, parameterized build I have created, right? Where this one, if you click on this one, build with parameters, so I have removed, I think. So it's going to use a parameterized build, and then we are going to trigger that particular parameters as required. So choice parameter we use name as an environment, choices like dev, stage and prod. So if you want to run for the dev, then we use dev as a parameter, build with parameter. Here we select. If you want to run for stage, then we use stage. And you want to run for production, then we use prod. And then we are going to declare inside the same, we are going to declare that one inside the job here, inside the pipeline script.
How about the code?
Which one? Code will be
Code.
like we are going to use the particular environment, we use a particular branch. So for dev, we are going to use a dev branch, and stage we use a stage branch, and production we use main branch. So based upon that, we are going to trigger the job from the configurations. So when we use this one, it will declare inside the configurations. So here we are going to select the particular branch, and it will run for that particular code only. So the code will be same for each and every environment. We use the same code. That's why we maintain same codes for each and every environments. Then only we avoid the issues. If it is working in the dev, then we will proceed for the stage. Then we proceed for the production. That one we use with the upstream downstream projects. That is which option we have seen, you remember, right? So in the build triggers, we use a build after other projects build. Here we use multiple options, that is dev, staging and production all together. We are going to run. One depends on another one. If the dev is successful, then only it will go for the production. So only deployment part is going to change the servers, but build code, testing, everything will be same for all the environments. Understood, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So when one pipeline we can
Yeah,
configure
one
the
pipeline we
branch
are going to
accordingly.
configure with the
Um,
different environments. We are
branches.
going to configure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got it.
And also we have different another one pipeline we have, that we'll see in the upcoming classes. So if you go here, click on new item, you can see multi configuration and multi branch pipeline. See here, multi branch pipeline is nothing but if you have four branches, it's going to create a four different jobs here. So for example, dev separate pipeline, sorry, dev separate job, production separate job, staging separate job, but the code will be same for all.
Okay. Instead of in individual pipelines, it makes a
One we are
base
going to
pipeline.
create here. So inside,
Uh-huh.
once we create and trigger it, it will automatically create a four jobs, and it will show
Okay.
inside that one. It will create
Okay.
one folder. Set up
Mm.
pipeline projects according to detected branch in the SCM repository. So it is
Okay.
depends upon the your repository. Whatever your repository,
Mm-hmm.
the code will be taking from the Jenkins file itself. That one should be present in all the branches. That is
Okay.
how it will
Got
work. We'll see that later. That's why I'm explaining each and every part to understand. Jenkins is very important. As a CI/CD, we should know. Okay. Now parameters. So these are the different type of parameters which we have discussed in the freestyle. We will see in the pipeline as well. So the demo, how we are going to create dashboard, new item, then pipeline, not a freestyle, we have to select in the pipeline only. Then we have to pipeline script, paste directly for quick labs in this module. So you can directly uh, paste it. You can check how we are going to see. See this one, agent any tools. If you want to use the tools, then you can use the mention as a tools as well, but I am not going to use. On options, you can see here whatever we have discussed, right? Those options I will declare here. Let's see how it will work. I'll go back. So which one I'm working? CACD and pipeline 1 demo. Here, this is the script which I have, but instead of this one, I am going to use after the agent any. Here they have used tools as well, but I am not going to use the tools option. I will directly use options. Timestamps is not required. I don't use. Build a discard, log rotator. So we can use a particular how many we have to use. So I will use two. Timeout not required because this particular job it won't take much time. And then parameters. So parameters if you want to set up, then you can use. So now what I will do, parameters, instead of boolean parameter I will use choice, and name should be environment. Default value is not there here. We have to provide the choices like this. So that is depends upon the what values we are going to provide. So I'll use choices, dev, stage, and prod. Next, description should be anything we can mention. Choose as per your environment to build. Okay. Next, we are going to see. So this is the options we have done. Then parameters we have done. Parameterized build. This one will be. Next is environment name. If you want to declare the any environments, then you can use here as an environment. So in the real time, we are going to use the multiple environments that we can see. So everything is correct. Description, choose. So we have to give single quotes. Environment. Something it is asking, expecting. Okay. Now environment, you can give app name, anything like training app, it is done. Now stages, this is the main task which we have to perform. The stages we can give as per our requirement. So now I have given stages. Stage hello, instead of hello I am going to give as checkout. So checkout is the first stage which we are going to use. What is the code we are going to write? Inside the checkout code steps we are going to write git branches. So like you don't know the code how to write, you can use here pipeline syntax. You can click on it and open in the new tab. Here you can see you have multiple options, and what exactly you want to do you can search for it. So I want to run for git, so I will click on G. It will come git. It will repository URL. You have to provide your repository URL. I'll take my repository URL. So this one I will take master branch, click on copy. This one I will copy and I'll give here the syntax which I want to provide. Okay, it is showing tree master. So I'll take development. Okay, now we have to provide the branch. So which branch you want to trigger, then you can use master or whatever it is. Then you can use the credentials. Then generate the include polling, include change log. If you want including, you can include here. Otherwise, not required. Generate pipeline script. It will come here like this. Git change log false. Credentials ID, GitHub, then URL. Then we have to add the branch as well. So you can go here inside the steps. You have to provide this one. Git change log false. So if you want to add this one, you can remove this directly, or else you can keep it. So here you can see git branch. So the particular branch you want to trigger, then you have to provide the branch name as well. Just give the comma git branch colon, then within single quote we have to provide the value. So what is the branch name you want to provide? You can give any branch. So currently I am going to take development. I will take, let's see. So the development branch I have taken. Now this is the code we have written for checkout code. Expecting this one, let's see. So inside the steps we have to provide. Okay, let's see. Now I have given only for the checkout code and save it. If you go here, this is the script which I have written. You can see build. Now build schedule, it is failed. Let's see what is the issue here. Okay, git branch, maybe I have to provide it a different. I'll go here, configure. Okay, it will come here git branch development like this. We can take it. If it is master branch, then no need to give. By default it will take default branch. Now I'm going to give here change log. Mainly we have to see the this particular flower bracket whether it is matching or not, then only it will work. Otherwise it is it's going to fail if it is not matching. So for now one I can remove and apply, save, build now. So it is success, and you can see only two is there because the old one is removed, because we have given the configuration as it should remove, like once again. So now it is done. Commit, everything is done. Now I am going to see the configurations. I will explain what we have done. Configure. Here I have given discard old builds. So by giving this only, it is automatically taken. Previously I have not given anything, this one, right? See, discard old builds and the a project is parameterized. This everything we have not I have not given, but it is taken from the this particular script. So if you observe, I will go back. These options are there already, but I have given in the script. And once I apply and save, and if I run the code, it will automatically update here as well. See, I am going to trigger build now. It is updated again. Only 3 4 are there because I have given 2 log rotation. Maximum number of builds I have kept 2 I have given. It is updated here, and also it is updated for the choice parameter. So if I go here, build with parameter option came, it is already, and you can trigger the job, choose as per your environment, you can choose it. Like that we can create a pipeline job. Now I am going to explain further stages, what and all we have to do in the real time. So environment variables is done, and stage checkout is done. This is the stage checkout. After the second flower bracket, we have to add another stage. Here we have to use
Build.
build stage. So we have to run build command here. We can go steps again. Then we use inside the steps. We are going to write the script for Maven. So what exactly we have to write? You don't know the code. You can use this one very well. So for Linux, you can use is Linux. It will come. See, is Unix. We have to use generate pipeline script. Okay, it is not coming. Just it is coming only this part. So sh we can use script run arbitrary shell script. You can use shell script mvn clean package. So this particular command I want to execute. So you can use this particular one. It will it will suggest you to use this as like this. So sh we have to use because we are going to execute the command inside the Linux. If you are using in the Windows, then what you have to use? Windows batch script. If you run here mvn clean package, see bat mvn clean package, like this we have to execute the maven goals. And after that you want to display some message, then you can use echo build is successful. Just click on apply, save, build with parameter, use dev build. You can see the output here. It is failed. Let's see why it is failed. mvn command not found. So what we have to see now? mvn command not found in script. Let's see. sh within the single quotes only we have to execute mvn, but it is not running. So I will go to my configure tools, mvn maven install. It is installed already. CACD pipeline demo. So you can see in the blue version, you can see the stages where it is failed, exactly why it happened. mvn clean package, mvn command not found. So you can copy, validate it. So if you want to restart build again, you can click on this one. So that's why we like this particular blue version is very advanced technology we can use. So we have to declare the tools maybe here. That's why we have to provide the tool section as well. Let's see. The tools I have installed, whatever the tool, that one we have to provide here. configure inside the agent any we have to provide tools. So whatever we have installed, same one we have to provide. Otherwise, if it is not matching, then it's again it will fail. So we have to provide the Maven 3.9.16. Apply, save, build. Now it will run properly. You can open with blue version. You can see start, checkout, build. It is done. You can see the stages, which stage what happened exactly. Test run 1 and build successful and it is generated a war file. Like this we can use. That's it. So now if you check the changes, if there is any test case artifacts is generated, it's going to display. Okay. Now build and uh, checkout and build is done with the pipeline script. Now next stage is test. If you want to test something, then you can test it by using this particular command. So sh -b test, it's going to run the test cases. If you want to run only package by skipping, then you can use this particular command. But we don't want to send all. And in the post section, if you want to display something, so like this, I'm going to check it. Post. I'll go here. Configure. So always the post section should be all the stages has completed, then only you have to give the post section. If you give inside the any stages, then it won't work. You have to provide at the end of the all the stages. Post success echo build environment build number, then we app name succeeded. Failure, if it is failure, then it should be show as a failed. So let's see it will work or it will fail. Build with parameters. So previously I have chosen as a production. So you can see all the details in the console output, what happened exactly, and it is generated the war file, packaging, web app, everything. Now I am going to run. It is failed again. Why? Post section startup failed. So I'll configure and check for the code. What exactly happened? I'll copy this one.
It's still in stages, no?
Now stages is completed. If you give stage, then only it will be take as a stage. So I'm checking,
Yeah,
that's
but
why.
post is in stage actually. I feel.
Okay. Okay, now let's see. It should work. Console output. It is running. So at the end, it should display archiving artifacts. Training app succeeded. So it's going to display build is successful and training app succeeded because what we have given, these names we have given success, the details we have provided, failure and success, the app name where it is provided, and build number it should be provided. Build number is 8. So by build number, why it is taken? By default the environment variables will take the build number is should be, if you give this one, it will be throw the output as a build number. Whatever the build we have triggered, that number it will display. And the app name we have already declared the variables inside the variable section, right? This is the variables, environment variables we have given. So if you want to declare some variables in real time, Docker Hub user credentials and all, we are going to declare with the environment variables. Like that, we can declare it here. And archive artifacts. So it's going to archive the artifacts, and it will display in the artifacts level. So you can see here, previously it was not showing, but now it is showing because we have configured as a artifacts. So artifacts should be stored, archive artifacts, and it should be the var file. Always empty archive equal to true. We have mentioned. That's why it is showing us in the artifacts as well. Like that, we can configure it. So in the artifactory, we can store it. That is, we like sometimes we use an access artifactory, but we have not discussed that one. We use Dockerized. In that one, we are going to use the Docker image into Docker registries as a artifactory. That's it. Next. So once you write the script, then you have to click save, then build with a parameter. It will show all the details about whatever we have configured. That is how we can use. So build with parameter, we can skip the test. If you don't want the skip, then you can run this particular command. This is also important with the maven commands itself. We should know mvn-b package, or if you give the install, then you have to give the -d skip test. Then it means you want to skip the test cases, then you can run that particular command. That is about, we have till now what we have discussed, the Jenkins pipeline used and only for the checkout and build stage, same what we have discussed in the previous classes, like integrating maven and git with the Jenkins, we have done today with the Jenkins pipeline. That is a declarative pipeline we have discussed today. Next is best practices about the declarative pipeline. So the syntax reach for a scripted, that is like script block within the declarative. Only when genuinely needed, we have to write a script block. Otherwise, we can directly run without any script block. Also, we can run it. Always set a timeout in options. So in the options where we have not mentioned the timeout, but in the real time, we have to always use timeout options here, because it will take time to build the job. So at that time it will be like loading and Jenkins server will be hang. That's why we have to use timeout option here to set that particular time to complete the build. If it is not completing, then it will automatically stop the trigger. Use credentials inside environment or with credential for any secret. Never echo or hardcode secrets directly. So instead of using the secrets, we can directly mention inside the environment as a credentials. Then you can set up the credentials section. Here inside the credentials, we have to mention where environment section here. Next is use meaningful stage names that match what reviewer would expect to see in the stage view. So here we always use the meaningful names instead of any like random names. We have to use like checkout stage, build stage, then Docker build, Tomcat deployment, then notification, these kind of names we have to provide. Keep pipeline logic itself relatively thin. Complex logic is often better placed in a shell script or a shared library. So instead of using the complex, we have to use a very simple logic here with a declarative pipeline. If we want to use a advanced level, then we use scripted pipelines for that. What is the common mistakes which we do with a scripted declarative pipeline? Writing scripted style groovy directly at the top level of what what's meant to be a declarative pipeline, causing confusing syntax errors. So mainly we provide here the syntax errors. That's why we have to use very carefully. Remember, declarative has a fixed required structure. So the structure should be always used like this. Even if you don't know the script exactly, then you can use a script. You are going to get the options here while newly creating pipeline, so that one also you can use. Not using when this particular conditions correctly, like mixing some of the conditions and also missing the flower bracket also, it's going to cause the issue. We have already seen that today. Overusing post always for logic that should really be conditional on success or failure specifically, causing unintended side effects on every run regardless of outcome. So the post will be like we are going to use based upon the conditions, but if you use something which is not required, it will affect the issue. That's why if required, then only we have to use these conditions and all in the post sections, everything. Troubleshooting. So troubleshooting, like mainly we are going to find the issue like maven we have already seen. If it is not command not found, then we have to set the global tool configuration and we have to declare in the pipeline script as well. Pipeline hangs indefinitely on one stage. Archive artifacts reports. So it will be like no timeout configured and an external call or steps never written, wrong path or pattern. So at the time it's going to take time in that particular stage. That's why we have to add the timeout in the particular complete pipeline stage to complete the each and every stage within time. No artifacts found. Package stage didn't actually produce a jar. Then it will be like it's going to find the issue as a no artifacts found. If you provide, for example, I have given here as a jar, then it's going to throw as a no artifacts found. See, let me show you. Build number 9, console output, success. See here, artifacts, archiving artifact, jar doesn't match anything. Target exists, but no target jar. No artifacts found which match file. Target jar. That's why we have to provide what exactly you are building. If you are building web application, then it should be where. If you are building any like enterprise application, then it should be jar. Like that, we have to provide inside the pipeline. Next, so I will remove it. I'll keep as var. Okay. So these are the some of the interview questions with the pipeline. Pipeline is very important. You can go through it and we'll discuss further. So next is Jenkins file. So Jenkins file is same. This is also pipeline script which we are going to use. This particular Jenkins file we are going to use scripted pipeline. Same pipeline we are going to use like Groovy script only, but it will be having the different format. It also goes deeper into advanced declarative constructs we are going to discuss here in this particular module, like agent types, input, when, parallel, matrix, this kind of options we are going to see. And it will be like a coding concept we are going to use like loops and all. Pipeline is a pipeline pasted into jobs UI, that is which we have discussed in the previous module, is not version controlled, not reviewable via pull request, and not portable if you need to recreate the job on a different Jenkins instance. So that one why we use different declarative and scripted is this is the main difference. If you use a Jenkins file, that is a scripted pipeline, then it will be version controlled and it can be accessed in the GitHub repository, and it will be review while doing the pull request and all. But when you use a declarative pipeline, it will be in the Jenkins job itself. There is no review. It's going to use it is no there will be no version control. It will be directly triggering in the Jenkins job itself. It lives alongside your application code. It is reviewed the same way any other code changes and travels with a repository. So this particular scripted pipeline will be travel along with your code itself. So in the real world, we are going to use a company with 60 microservice maintenance in the shared library repository. There we are going to use a Jenkins file only like 10-15 lines long, simply calling into the shared library, and we are going to use as a Jenkins pipeline by using Jenkins file. So the architecture diagram of the Jenkins file will look like this. So in the your GitHub repository, it will be stored as a Jenkins file, and then Jenkins shared library, it will be var source everything it will be stored, and it will pull the Jenkins file as well. So Jenkins pipeline job we are going to mention as a pipeline script from SCM. Read Jenkins file directly from the app's own repository. It will take it. So Jenkins file is nothing but you should understand it is a plain text file. There is no extension, same like Docker file, and containing your pipeline definition committed to the root of your application's Git repository, and a Jenkins pipeline job configured with a pipeline script from SCM. We are going to create as a pipeline script from SCM. Scripted pipeline demo. So I have to use the same pipeline and click on OK. So the declarative structure which we have already discussed, pipeline agent stages post environments option, this and all will be there. And in the scripted syntax we are going to see node, and we are going to provide the node name, stage, and we are going to provide the stages directly. Useful inside the declarative pipeline we are going to use. So what is the agent here? We are going to use the agent specifies where the pipeline executes. So if you want to run the particular job into particular agent, then we use the agent, which agent we want to provide. If you use any, it's going to run in any available agent. Agent none, then there will be no default. Each stage must be specify its own. If you want to specify own, then we use agent none. Individual stages can override the pipeline level agent with their own agent. So each agent you want to run in the different uh, uh, each the stage you want to run in the different agent, then we use agent none, and then we are going to provide the agent with a different every stage we are going to declare it. So stages and steps which we have already discussed, same it will be there here as well, and the tools everything will be there. We are going to discuss about inputs. So pauses the pipeline and wait for a human to click proceed or abort. This is a mechanism like where we use manual approval gates, where we use continuous deployment purpose. We are going to use this one. Stage approve production deploy. Input message deploy to production. Okay, deploy. So these kind of options we are going to provide input messages. Proceed further for the deployment. Why we use this one? This is exactly the mechanism that turns continuous delivery, human gated release into real enforced. Like mainly we are going to see continuous delivery and continuous deployment where we require human gated release before going to the production. That is we use this particular input message option with the scripted pipeline. Can you someone mute yourself? I think Dilip.
Not from my end.
Okay, Rakshita, can you mute? Okay,
Sorry, sir.
okay, fine, no problem. Uh, then we are going to use the when condition. Conditional stage execution, we are going to use deploy to prod when the branch is main. So you asked, right? if you want to deploy your project into the main into the production, then we use the branch main expression return parameter environment equal to prod. Okay, if you want to go for the dev, then we use a dev here, and environment also dev. Like that we have to give the values in the input and when section based upon our environments level.
This is an SCM, right? Or normal
Yeah,
type
yeah.
stuff.
Source code management repository. Inside that one, we are going to declare it. That's what I
Okay.
told, right? I will explain. Jenkins file we are
Mm.
going to store inside the source code management repository, and there we are going to use for the different branch. So here, if you see, Jenkins file is there in the development. If you go for master, Jenkins file will be there. So each file will be having the different same script will be there, but we are going to declare the environment variables to run it.
Okay. This is something like Docker file, right?
Docker file we are going to declare just a commands. Here we use a Groovy, and a
Okay.
Docker file we are going to use for the to create a Docker image. But a Jenkins file is to build the to run all the stages.
Purpose is same, right?
No, purpose is different. There we use only Docker image creation. Here
Mm.
we use to complete all the stages. Different stages will be there, but we use here the Groovy script. That will be different. This will be different. That mainly the Docker file we use with the only the Docker purpose, like where we generate a new image, Dockerize. Here we are going to use the Docker image also, like Docker file also. We are going to use inside the Jenkins file.
Okay. Okay.
So multiple when conditions are implicitly ANDed together unless combined with any any of or all of we are going to use. Otherwise, it will be and for example, if you use when condition one here branch and another when condition if you use, it will be like and it should match both the condition, then only it will proceed further. Otherwise, it will fail. Next, parallel runs multiple stages concurrently. So this is very important. So if you want to run multiple jobs, multiple stages concurrently rather than sequentially, useful for independent tasks like running unit tests and linter simultaneously, cutting overall pipeline duration. So for example, you want to run multiple stages at a time, then you can use parallel checks, and parallel you can use here stage test cases one and static analysis another one. Here both the stages it will run. So if you see here, if you open this one, it will start checkout. Until checkout is completed, build is will be waiting, and until build is completed, another stage will be waiting. So instead of waiting for one stage completion, we can use the parallel checks at a time. For that one we can use a parallel in the stage, but this one we can't use with the build and deployment or build and testing, because until build is completed we can't do the testing, until test is completed we can't do the deployment. Something which is not related with the previous stage, then we can use the parallel. Next is matrix. So runs the same set of stages across multiple combination of variables. So if you want to run the stages in the different tools, different version of Java or different nodes, then we use matrix. So these and all mainly you should understand, but in the real time we use very rare, but you should know very understanding of these particular things. In the real time sometimes we use, sometimes we don't use, but the complete syntax should be understanding very well the scripted pipeline. It will be critical, like it will be complex very, not like a declarative pipeline. That's why I'm explaining each and every point. So in the matrix we can use access like this. One second.
What is that SH we are using in steps?
Which one?
SH we are using in steps.
sh, that is a shell. So if you are using for Linux, then sh. If you are running in the Windows,
Windows
then it should be bat. So this particular,
normal ones.
yeah, this
Okay.
particular command you want to run in the Linux. For example, your Jenkins is installed in Linux, then we use sh. If you are uh, sorry, if your Jenkins is installed in Linux, then you use this one. If your Jenkins is installed in Windows, then we use bat instead of sh.
Okay.
Okay. Next is shared library. So shared library is one of the very important topic where we use a separate Git repository containing reusable pipeline code. So you will get the question how you are going to use a reusable pipeline code and where you are going to store in the Jenkins. So it will be stored in the shared library referenced like any Jenkins file. We are going to store library name at the in the library configured globally under manage Jenkins global pipeline libraries. If you go here, global pipeline, global trusted pipeline libraries, shared libraries available to any pipeline jobs running on the system. These libraries will be trusted, meaning they run without sandbox restriction and maybe use grab. So you can see here, you have to declare the any variables or anything you want to store here. You can come and store here itself. So this is a shared library. If you want to store like untrusted pipeline libraries and trusted pipeline libraries. So if you want to store your credentials or something which you want to reusable multiple times, then you can use here. This is the single biggest level for reducing duplication across many projects. Jenkins file in real enterprise. So here you can go and you can mention your credentials and you can store your Jenkins file and other things. So now we are going to see how we are going to create Jenkins file. We have to select the pipeline script from SCM. Then we have to provide the repository URL and the script path where we have used your Jenkins file. You have to take it from there. Let's see. I'll go here, scripted pipeline, configure. I have a one of the complete project, maybe still it is under building. I have not yet completed, but I will try to figure it out whether it will work or not here. CI/CD, enterprise CI/CD pipeline. So I have completely given Docker file, Jenkins file, everything I have provided here. So all the tools, whatever required and app names, everything I have provided. This one will explanation. Maybe I will explain tomorrow. It will take a lot of time. I have provided all the details and I will just execute it. Later we will create another separate Jenkins file for demo. Here we have to select pipeline script from SCM. SCM should be Git repository URL and then main branch name, credential master, no, main, just a path, script path. So if you are using your Jenkins file inside of any folders, then you have to provide that path. If you are using directly in the main repository, inside the particular repository, this is my repository, right? If it is there inside here only, then you can directly give the as a Jenkins file. Apply, save. It will build whatever the stages which we have given inside the Jenkins file, but it is failing here. JDK 25, Maven 3.9. So what names I have provided? I will take it here. So JDK is not installed. I'll go. So we have to update the Jenkins file only to make it work because we are using from the directly from the GitHub repository. So we have to use a 3.9 Maven 3.96. JDK25 I will remove here and limit changes, commit it. After committing, just I have to rerun the script. I'll go here, build now. Again it is failing. So it is check out the code, but it is failing after skip change lag first time build. Everything is done, but an attempt to send an email to empty list of recent ignored. So this and all we have to update the Docker credentials and other things. This completely we'll see later. For now, I will create a new script where I'll go to my different repository here. Maven, I can create a new file here, add a file, create new file, Jenkins file, and I will provide the script. So whatever the script we have written right here, same one I'm going to store, but I will modify the changes. Pipeline demo configure. So we have to do the changes as per requirement. So we can give the same code from the module 8 lab which we have discussed, and we can store it as a Jenkins file. And if you want to run the multiple stages at a time, you can use the Jenkins file, that is a parallel checks. And if you want to do this particular one, approve, then it will ask for that. Let me show you that one only now. So I'll use here, instead of stages, before going to post, I will go here, stage approve deploy. When branch main steps input message, proceed with deployment. Okay, deploy. So this one it will show, but currently I have not configured the deployment because I have not used a Tomcat. Let's see. Okay, I have used master branch here. I will again modify. Instead of main, I have used a master branch, so I will update as master. Commit changes. Commit.
But in parameters, you didn't mention master, right?
Where?
Parameters.
No, parameters not added here.
No, top. Like
Okay.
in Git branch, you have development right here. Scroll down. I think in post
Okay,
or
this one branch
check
name
out. Yeah.
development master.
And in here it's as well, Mohan. In parameters choice we have no.
This one.
Yeah.
So this one dev stage production, that is a choice well level it will go. So
Okay.
whatever the after that it will come as for the deployment. So we are going to choose only environment here. That is
Mm.
doesn't matter here. Let's see.
Okay.
So build now. Again it will fail. Yeah. What is the exact issue? Okay, sorry. I'm using this one. I want to use different job, right? I'll configure.
Branch.
No, no. I used a different project. So I'll go
Okay.
here. Previously, I have used a complete CI/CD enterprise application. That is still I'm working on it. The credentials here. Play save. So it is running. See, now if I go here, skipped due to when conditional, it is skipped. Stage approve deploy. Stage deploy skipped due to when conditional. Build is successful. For now, deploy is success. Deploy is skipped. Only build is successful because deploy stage I have not declared anywhere. That's why it is not taking any input. If I go here, scripted pipeline, configure. Okay, sorry. We have to check here only. That's why in the Jenkins file you can't do any changes inside the job. We have to do from the directly in the Jenkins file. This one we mainly use in the where you want to maintain for the version control. Then only we use Jenkins file. So I will use main here instead of this one. Let's see how it will react. Main, main. So that's it. The mainly which we have to know about the scripted pipeline and declarative pipeline, which we have to discuss. But this is I have not completed because only the demo part which we have discussed with all the type of jobs. It can be freestyle, uh, scripted pipeline, and declarative pipeline. When comes to the complete CI/CD flow, which we are going to use other tools like Tomcat, SonarCube, then Docker. So these three integrations we are going to discuss in the upcoming classes. Okay. Next is the mainly best practices we have to maintain. The name should be always capital J and Jenkins file. It should not be any changes because we have to maintain the same name, and script path should be main repository only. It should be there. It should not be in the any sub repository, sub folders. Use input sparingly and only genuinely meaningful approvals if required. So in the only deployment required, deployment approval required, then only we have to use, otherwise not required. Extract common logic into shared library once you have more than a handful of similar Jenkins file across different repositories. So if you have multiple same Jenkins files into different repositories, then only you have to use shared libraries and don't want to do the duplications. Keep Jenkins file under the same code review process as application code. As I mentioned, it should be there in the main repository, not in any subfolders. So main mistakes we are going to use a Jenkins file where we are going to store it. It will be having the different issues we are going to face. Okay, that is about scripted pipeline. This and all I have mentioned for troubleshooting purpose. You can go through him because while you practicing, you are going to get these kind of issues. like Jenkins file not found, pipeline pauses forever, an input step, pipeline stages not running the particular stages, and shared library steps, this and all. So you can practice. If you have any doubts, you can let me know. So we didn't get much time to complete the credential section today. So we already know about the credentials, but still I'm going to explain different type of credentials and how to store them in the tomorrow class. So in the tomorrow we are going to discuss credentials. Then we'll start with the Docker integration with Jenkins. Then after that we are going to discuss after Jenkins, we'll start with the Sonar Cube and Tomcat integration, the Jenkins. So when we complete the Docker and Docker, Sonar Cube and Tomcat integrations, then we can use the complete CI/CD pipelines along with the different master slave architecture. So maybe in the tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll complete the CI/CD flow, how it will be look like. That's it for today. Thank you.